What's up guys, John here and welcome back to Johnmunstudios. In today's video, we're going to give a little intro into the sampler inside of Cubase, so let's get right to it. Okay, so Cubase Sampler is actually very easy to use and it's very intuitive. So let's go ahead and set up the sampler track. So let's say you have MIDI packs and you want to, kind of convert these audio loops into something that you can play on the keyboard or maybe have a specific sound. Let's go ahead and open up by clicking or right-clicking on this empty portion here and hit Sampler Track. You can also click the plus sign. You can also click the plus sign up here and you can create a sampler track from here. And you can also press the T on your keyboard, which also brings up the same menu. So there's just a variety of ways for you to pull up the sampler track. So we're going to go ahead and just call this let's say just a kick for now. And I'm going to go into my hard drive and pull out a kick sound. So I have these sample packs from Slate Digital. They had a free sample pack, and I went ahead and downloaded it. So I'm going to pull up a drum sample. We're going to do a one-shot loop or one-shot hit kick. Let's do this one, big thud. All you do is drag it into the sampler here, and that's it. You can play it on your keyboard. So as you notice, we have a lot of tools here to play around with. We have an amp here, so we can actually control things like volume, the LFO, panning. You have two LFOs. You can control things like filter, so you can cut out frequencies, play with the resonance, drive, anything else that you would want to do here in modulation as well. You can control it using these curves as well, so it gives you a ton of control on how you want to shape your sounds. You can also control pitch. You can control the octave, so if I turn this up to 4 octaves higher and I hit C3, we have that clicking sound because it's obviously very, very high pitch. We go down 4 octaves, we get a very low sound. You can also do it in semitones, so this is what we call coarse tuning, and then you could do it in fine tuning, which is also called sense, so you can tune it however you want. On the far left side, we have our sound quality, so you can actually have it standard, you can have it high, extreme, vintage. You can control bit rate, so you can actually crush it, kind of like a bit crusher. You have audio warp here, so here you can actually speed up the sample, you can slow it down. So that's pretty much the parameters you have down here to play around with. You can also extend the range of any of your samples here, so let's say you want to go all the way down to C-2, you can. But we're going to go ahead and leave the range where it was. And then, of course, you can extend the range farther than C6 as well. All it is a click and drag function. You have a couple of knobs and parameters up here. You have preset names, so you can pull up some presets that come with a Cubase, and you could just throw them in here in the sampler. You have the name of the file that you brought in. You also have read and write automation stuff here. You can A/B between settings, so you could save something in B, save something in A, and then kind of A/B it all here inside of the sampler. You can also change the root of the key, so where you want the actual loop when you play it. When you play it back a loop in a WAV file, the root of the key pretty much tells you where that normal pitch is. So if I don't want it on C3 and I want it somewhere else, I can go ahead and move that, and that'll become the new neutral spot for this loop. You could do loop mode, so you can have this loop over and over and over again when you play the note. So instead of just one hit, I can just make it go continuous. Right, so you can make it go continuous, you can alternate until release. However you want, you can control all those parameters in there. You also have a couple more options here. You have a reverse sample, so I can reverse this, and we get a reverse sound. You have other parameters here, and then another one that's really cool and helpful is this one right here, so you can actually lock your settings in case you're messing around with the sampler, you have it open, you don't want to click something by accident, you can lock it right here. So let's go ahead and throw in another loop in here just to kind of hear what it sounds like. But this time I'm going to do a loop instead of just a one shot. So let's just call this, let's do a vocal loop. So again, I'm just going to go into my folder and I'm going to find a vocal loop. I'm going to open vocal chops, going to do loops, and then let's just pull in this one. So again, this is a vocal loop, and now if I press C3, this is the original pitch that this loop comes in. So now that I have a loop, we could pay attention here to this tempo. Tempo is pretty much what the loop comes in. So it pretty much analyzes the loop, and it says, okay, this is played at 124. So if you use this loop, its original state is going to be at 124 beats per minute. You cannot alter this, but you can change the speed here using the audio warp tool. Again, we could change the root key so that C3 isn't the root key, and then it gives you the name of the file itself. Right, so I'm just moving a little bit of these knobs so you can see some of the functions it has. Let's try changing a little bit of the tuning. Let's go ahead and do the coarse tuning. Right, so you see you have a lot of parameters here to work with. Let's try a cutoff. So you see now all of a sudden this sounds completely different than what it pretty much started with. And you have, again, the amp and modulation stuff that you can work with. That was a basic introduction to the sampler inside of Cubase. This has a lot of potential to really shape any samples you have and completely turn them into something else. If you have any questions throughout this video, just go ahead and leave your comments down below and I'll get to them as soon as possible. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe. Don't forget to hit the ring button so you don't miss any of my weekly videos. Also, don't forget to check out the Johnmunstudios store. There's a variety of merch with the official Johnmunstudios logo on it, so go ahead and check that out. I'm also going to leave down below in the description a link to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. You can help support the channel. As always, don't forget to share with your musician friends. I'll see you guys soon.